Hey, welcome back to Desolation. My name is Lawrence,
And I have an Oreo chocolate William.
and this is Substandard Roleplaying. And I'm with KC
I'm Casey from the Questing GM.
and Dave.
I'm awake. Hi, it's Dave from A Taurus at Twitch TV.
Cool.
/A Taurus.
Yes, Twitch TV / A Taurus.
Anyway,
Blah,
here
blah,
we
blah.
go.
I told you it's
HTTPS.
Yes, it's like 9 in the morning. I
Time
think,
zones are
over
not
there.
my friend. Okay, time zones are not my friend.
When you said you had to wake up, I just imagined you like eating a whole cigarette. Like,
Kind of the same.
Nicotine.
Wow, hold on.
If I had a wrestler name, that would be my wrestler's name.
Nicotine.
I'd be Nicotine.
Last name Atine. First
Yeah.
name Nick.
First name Nick. I'm not even Nick.
Okay, so let's do a little bit of recap. Basically last week we started from Dug Hole, right? And we had to find the Library of Balestria. And Kane, I believe, found a map, or basically brought us a map that showed us where the Library of Balestria is. We traveled, we got rained upon, it ate through our tarp because it was acid rain. We found some trees to help us avoid the acid rain, but then we found these octopuses that like to eat bone, and basically we destroyed it. Huh?
I
Sorry?
missed the boiling.
You
I
missed
had
the
the
boiling ring. Okay.
Oh yes, and the trees were made out of bone too. That's right.
Right. The trees were made out of bone, which attracted the octopus. Two of them, which apparently these octopus eat bone, which is why they came there, and then they wanted to get out of the rain, so they attacked us, or we attacked them. Either way, we killed them. And we made our way to Praham, where we were supposed to find the Library of Balestria. But then eventually we found out that actually the Library of Balestria are it's made out of people. So we met I forget how many, like seven people.
There's 7 people. Yeah.
And there's supposed to be 12.
And
the
there's supposed to
name
be
of them
12.
are the 12.
Yeah.
I just feel like you skipped over an important emphasis on the recap.
Okay, go ahead, Dave. What did I skip?
Straight face. Well, you talked about the octopi, or better yet, the octopus.
The octopuses.
And you talked about the octopussies, and you talked about the bone. So I feel like there's something that needs to be said. That is all.
I've chosen not to comment at that particular moment.
And anyone who skips the intro missed that gold.
That's why we have timestamps, people.
Yeah, I know, right? Anyone who skipped the intro missed the gold and is happy for it.
The timestamp is just going to be killer joke here.
Yeah.
Click to find out.
Totally offensive joke here.
I mean, I didn't say anything.
Yes, neither did I.
If you drew the conclusion from what I was saying, it's really your mind that's in the gutter.
Uh-huh.
Well, mine as well. You're joining me in the gutter.
All
right, anyway. Yes, so we did find the library. That's right. As soon as you started explaining it, it all came back to me. Dropped the hammer, that is. It is not a place, it's people.
And I'll be honest, that was like such a cool and novel idea that I agonized over what to do today. I was like, you did it, you found it.
I know, that was like a big buildup, and I was like, damn. I
was like an hour before this, like, what do we do?
As good as it was, I don't know if it was quite as big as the reveal that Kane told Maximus about his magic skills. Yeah, no, it's a lot bigger than that, but still.
Oh, no, but still. That's also been an agonizing character build-up.
Yes, we've had
hinting.
We had two fantastic reveals in the last session. I don't know how we're going to... You know what? We might as well just call it, guys.
I don't know how we talk.
All right, guys. That was Substandard Roleplaying. Thanks for tuning in.
That's it. We're done.
Rather go out on our own terms. Like when the credits roll on like an old sitcom and there's on the last episode and there's like that freeze frame and the text overlay. Maximus went on to start raising horses.
Yeah.
Kay just found himself a lovely home. all that kind of stuff.
Kane accidentally killed himself with burn damage.
With burn damage.
Kane dipped a little too deep.
Yeah.
That boy. Don't mind him. He is homeschooled after all.
He really wanted a familiar of his own made out of energy, but tried too hard.
He got too familiar.
Right. Anyway,
all of that could possibly still happen. Anyway, so you do have a campaign for us, right, Taff?
No, I do.
No. Well, what's left of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I was really umming and ahhing over this. Okay. So, you're still in the room with these people, with Mercus, waiting to see what you have to say now that you've found the library.
I'm just gonna say what I think we're all thinking. This is the library? People are the library? That's amazing!
We are a library, a repository of information. We are the source of the myth of the Scarlet King.
The myth of the Scarlet King.
I mean, you don't actually believe in giant deities that are coming to end the world, do you?
I mean, myself, I'm more of a scholar individual, so I take it all with a grain of salt. But that's you openly speak about it being a myth, but the followers are so devout. It's quite a good job you've done there with the writing and the mything. so much for the scholar part of it. All right.
Oh, thank you. We have worked very hard in this. For all you know, it could not be a myth.
Oh man, it's double twist. So are there just the 7 of you?
No, there are 12 of us in total. Some are off proselytizing across the land. And you've met one, obviously. Callum is one of the 12.
So Callum knew that we were not actually trying to find an actual building. He knew that the Library of Balestria was made out of people. That's what you're telling me. And he also knew that the Scarlet King was a myth.
Well, it's not a myth. Call it more a prophecy that we have designed that we hope to bring about sometime in
will
the
into existence.
If not will into existence, make it happen.
Interesting.
And for that, we need to do a bit of kingdom building. Hence Callum.
Interesting.
So the question I pose to you is, why would Callum indulge you and send you to us?
Callum said he needs the information from the Library of Balestria to help him with his current quest of taking out the Eclipse, or fighting against the Eclipse to save his village that he currently resides at. Now that you've told me that Callum is one of yours, and that he knew all this information before sending us, I actually don't know what to believe. Or who to trust, actually.
That much is probably for the best. For now, we're not sure if we can trust you so much. Obviously, Callum saw our value in the 3 of you over here, and he maybe thought that you were more invested than you're letting on.
We have a job to do. We are from the
And that
Legion
is-
of Warders, and we're simply given a mission to find the Library of Balestria and grab as much information as we can. If you are indeed the Library of Balestria and you are willing to part with any information that you have, our scholar here, Kane, can write that information down and is probably more able to understand the knowledge that you possess than either myself or Cages here. And as long as we finish our mission, I have no other goals besides that. If Callum wants to take out the Eclipse and your information, if that's still what he wants to do, if that's still his goal, then we're willing to bring that information back to Callum if he needs it, or if he just sent us to you because he had other plans, then I suggest you tell us what it is immediately so that we can make deliberations and not waste anybody's time.
We will convene on this alone. You are free to stay. Your attire should get you pretty far around here. You're also free to leave, but we will seek you out within the day.
Fine.
Thank you.
So we'll go back to our room or whatever they gave us, right? And I guess we're talking to each other.
Yep.
First, I'm gonna start us off with what the fuck.
I did not see that coming.
I guess this changes a lot of things, if not everything.
So I don't recall. I guess this is somewhat my character and somewhat meta, but I don't recall if Callum had specifics that he wanted us to get information on, or
No,
did he just send us here to.
He literally, from unless he was like, I guess he was completely fooling us, but from the previous, like when we were still with him,
Yeah.
he was still fighting against the Eclipse.
Right.
He was trying to get weapons magically enhanced in order to help with this battle. And he sent us to the Library of Balestria because he thought that there would be information here that he could use against his fight. That's what I got so far.
So I guess just Eclipse specific information. Okay. So based on that, if we assume that all that is correct and that we weren't hoodwinked even further, then that means that there's no necessarily, like, there's not like a necessary mental link where all of these people know everything. It's obviously a collective. Otherwise he would already have the information. So okay, so it's just a lot of smart people that happen to know a lot about facts. Now, how about the fact that the Scarlet King and Callum knows that this is not I mean, obviously they're trying to make this happen, and this is an end game of theirs. They're basically Scientologying. I don't know if you remember that from aeons ago. It was an ancient script that it started with this guy jumping on a couch, and anyway, it's kind of like that.
One of the worst movies ever.
It's kind of like, yeah, they so like he's obviously, Callum is he's out to just try to make this prophecy a reality, full well knowing that it's not anything more than something that they've come up with. So,
or he's using it to hoodwink other people, like trick other people to.
It sounds more like he's having a hoax. He's building a image of mythology.
It's leaning. I'm now leaning even further towards he's just a flat out murderer and drunk on power, even more than I already was.
I mean, what do you believe?
Which is, yeah, I think these guys are sound a little too smart to be believing in prophecies and crazy madness.
They're not believing.
Caleb got us really good.
They're not believing in the prophecy. They made it up.
Yeah,
and they're trying to make it come true. If they're there, if they're that smart, I believe that if they can manipulate enough events, it could maybe happen.
Yeah, but
But
here's the part I don't understand. If this truly is just something they're trying to create, how did Cage's weapon become imbued?
Well, the alcove I think, is not related to the prophecy, or at least maybe they just made something up to make it make the alcove sound very important.
True.
They discovered it, and then they just make a story out around it.
I guess that makes sense because you have this thing that works, so it's going to help fulfill your prophecy because there's something to believe in. That's fair.
Or the alcove has actually nothing to do with it, and you've just been tricked even further. Perhaps Calum has the power.
He has real magic.
He has real magic to actually
that's really
imbue.
Distasteful. It's very distasteful that he actually has to kill someone to use whatever magic, or even if the sacrifice itself was a show.
So it's at this point, it's like we have no idea who's telling the truth and who's not. Our best frontman, our best face, basically, right? Spent an entire night with Callum and could not, or not even once did he believe that Callum was lying through his teeth.
No, I mean, to be fair, I'm not the best when it comes to.
Oh, not you.
People.
I mean, Cages. Cages spent the entire night.
Yes. Sorry, I'm thinking of when I was working with to get a map. You're all right. Yes, you're right.
And he didn't get the sense that Callum was lying. So that just tells me that basically we can be easily tricked. Is the thing.
Or Callum is just really, he believes it so wholeheartedly that it's no longer a lie to him.
Perhaps that's possible too.
Because he does, if he is in fact a fanatic, which he does seem to, from the description Cages you gave us, he kind of does. He could just be all in.
Out of character,
tell a lie enough times, it becomes the truth.
Yeah.
Out of character, is it possible, Taff, now that we know this information, is it possible for Cages to think back on his interactions with Calum and do some type of
retrospect?
Reflection or like
Sure. We're gonna get the good ending.
So I'll be asking the questions and you make the rolls to see if you can answer yes or no, basically. All right?
I'll allow yes, no questions.
So we're doing it in character, I guess. So Cages, when you were with him, now that you know this information, do you think he was honestly, like, do you still believe he was honestly worried about the villagers and saving them from the eclipse? That would be my first question.
Mm-hmm.
So Cages squints real hard and thinks back.
Are you gonna roll?
Okay.
Do I have to roll?
You have to roll. You were with them. I'm asking your empathy.
For free. Yeah. He, Callum has fully bought into this.
At any point, did you, now that you know what we know, at any point, can you reflect at any point where you might have like caught deception but didn't think at the time that it meant this?
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, did he do anything funny that you should have caught at that time but slipped past?
Let's actually do a roll for that one.
And what will it be? Empathy?
Whatever you deem would be best to understand the mind of Callum the psychopath.
I would probably look at it as empathy then.
Sure.
Okay. And I believe that would be 8 guys. That's 7 guys. But I have style points. Yeah, you know what? Let's just spend 3 style points to make it 10, and then I'll take the average of that, which is 5.
Yes. Sounds good to me.
The math is real.
Have a style point for being so stylish.
I recall
and all of you can have
Thank
an
you,
experience
sir.
point.
Thank you.
Sorry, what?
All of you can have an experience point because you're here today.
Oh, thank you.
I forgot about that.
So I would
So,
say, I was
I
gonna
sent
say,
a message there for that answer.
oh, I sent him a message. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to, if I can just do it now, apply it now. I'm gonna use some of these experience points, and
Mhm.
I'll just build it in saying after all our trekking through the desert and everything like that, that I've kind of my cardio has
Oh,
kind of built
okay.
up a little bit, and
Mm.
my body skill, I'll gain another point in that, so I'll go from 1 to 2. So if I'm not mistaken, 2 times 5 would cost me 10 points.
Mhm.
If that's
All
cool.
that practicing punching cactuses with your cestus on the walk.
Yes. So that increases my health by 20% from 5 to
Wow.
6.
That is massive.
You have more
Hey.
health than I do.
Well, I
You're
also
so
hurt.
vigorous.
I also hurt myself a lot.
Yeah.
It's all because of my willpower. It's my willpower
Mm.
that gives me a lot of my health. But
I will not die.
I think Kane's been hurt more than Maximus has.
I think so. I've taken a lot of
Throughout the
damage.
whole-
It's
Yeah.
just like really bad heartburn though. just
Maximus took the
continuing
cat,
to-
Iomus took the octopuses.
Mm.
But has his soul been burnt?
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I did not mean to derail.
So Cages is going to recall that during the sacrifice, the anticipation and anxiety that Caleb showed was actually quite similar to what Cain felt or looks like when he does certain things.
When he does certain magical things
Mhm.
and wants to keep it secret. Okay.
Maybe that as well. Yeah. So that's pretty telling.
So he was lying, or he was trying to keep something secret while he was imbuing your dagger or a sword with no, it's a dagger with power. So he might have been lying about something there when he was sacrificing people. You're saying he does honestly seem to want to save the villagers from the eclipse. So why would he send us to the Library of Balestria when he's from the Library of Balestria? He should know the information they do. He is one
Not
of the
all of them,
12,
maybe.
right? They're saying that he is one of the 12.
He is one of the 12.
Yeah.
So he should have this information. There's no reason to send us here.
Well, that's what I was saying. Whether or not it's a collective where everyone together, it's just a whole bunch of. It's like Mensa, where everyone is like they all know a lot, and collectively they have everything, or if they have some sort of telepathic link where they can actually all know everything. I don't that we don't know.
Well, you recently told me that you have magical powers, right? What would it
Yes.
take for someone to be in telepathic communication with another person, would you say? Is it possible?
Yeah, you wanted to do this before I went meeting Callum of the Alpha.
Yeah, I thought about making a kind of a connection with you to try to share. I mean, I don't think it would. It's not. I wouldn't say it's easy, but I wouldn't say it's difficult. It's something that certainly, if they have any sort of ability,
Well,
if they can imbue weapons, if he's able to imbue weapons, if he somehow is doing that, telepathy is nothing for him.
so that even makes it even like more blatant. Like there's no actual reason for him to send us to the library when he could telepathically communicate with others, and if he was missing information, get the information that he wanted almost instantly, right?
I would think so, but distance may be a variant in that. But you're right. I have to agree. It seems a little odd if he is in fact driving the imbuing. Now, this where it was done may be doing all the work. He may not be that magical.
Powerful.
I don't know. I don't know. However, sorry, what was the guy's name who gave me the map?
Oh,
That was Callum.
Oh, that was Callum.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
Callum.
Sorry, I was thinking it was something. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you guys didn't see like
It wasn't
Grom or
Grom.
anything.
No,
That
I knew it
wasn't
wasn't
Grom.
Grom. I was yeah. So we do know that Callum is in fact a sorcerer. So it's entirely possible that there was more to it. Yeah, that does seem a little bit strange. You're right.
If Callum is still indeed invested in saving the villagers, the only reason he would send us here is there must be something here that we need that he thinks we can use to help him save those villagers even better than a magical weapon, right? Something that these 7 people can either tell us, give us, show us, do to us that makes us somehow more capable of taking down the eclipse. That's the only reason I can think of for Callum to send us here. But again, why do it without, like, why all the subterfuge? Why lie about it? Why not just say, okay, I know where the Library of Balestria is. It's not a library, it's actually people. These people can show you how to become more powerful. When you get powerful, come back and help us destroy the eclipse. I mean, why not just be
Yeah, and I mean there
honest?
could be. I was gonna there could be a level of proving ourselves, but we got here and they revealed themselves kind of easily. We didn't know what we were looking for, and then they were like, "Hey, yeah, we're the library." So it's like really the only test
They
would
were
have been the
they were
travel
probably
part.
expecting us in some sense. Maybe Caleb didn't send us to get something. We were the thing that were being
Maybe.
sent to
So
the librarian.
Well, they said they were waiting for someone that had information. So but we don't have information. So
wait,
that unless,
they said that they were making the prophecy, right?
yeah.
Kane, did you read up on the Scarlet King? Do you have any information that, like, we have literally almost no information about the Scarlet King besides those 2 laws that we talked about, right?
Yeah, I don't believe. I think we
Sure, we
asked.
lost.
I believe.
I have reasons to believe the 3 laws are just as made up as the Scarlet King.
Okay, but
It
the
makes very good
Scarlet
religious
King
texts.
myth itself, do you guys remember anything about who he's supposed to be and what he's supposed to do, or how we're supposed to recognize him? Anything about, like, this information at all? Do you guys remember anything?
Let me think about it for a second while I wait to see if I have any notifications that are dinging in my head. I seem to recall
Seriously, it's like,
they have 3 laws that are guiding
Which could be
their
made up,
philosophy.
but
Yeah,
I
I mean they're
mean, the Scarlet
mentioned.
could be made up, so
I
everything is
mean,
made up.
it's kind of like in their, their motto or whatever, like that when he will come, that they kind of ambiguously mention these 3 laws that are guiding them, but everything seems to be kind of focused on kingdom building. So it really seems to be a way of taking over the world almost. But it's all about this, it's all their focus. The focus of these 3 laws is to build a kingdom and build kingdoms, and so to me it seems like a dominance thing. But again, I wasn't, when I was there looking for it and siphoning for this information, I wasn't in the same mindset I am now, or otherwise I may see other things that made more sense now that we have a better understanding. But that is kind of what kingdom building was, the big focal point. That's what I keep coming back to. More so than the laws. That it's almost like the laws are there to decorate their or mislead from their actual goals. It's kind of the impression I get.
okay.
The laws themselves could be like how they operate, the rules of how they operate.
It could
for
very well
example,
be.
the law of take for example the law of cement. They disobey the law of cement, and we used to think that there was like a magical thing that transport the library, but
It's just
it could be
legs.
just legs that the librarian, the library or the librarians, what they call themselves, just move around. They don't
Yeah, they
stay
just
in one place for
get
too
up and
long.
move. Yeah.
And that's that kind of makes sense in why Caleb needs someone to find it, because he doesn't have like direct knowledge of where they'll be next. And he'll send Grom, he'll send us to go find it.
That's the other thing too. Why was he sending Grom out? Yeah.
And if we remember, there is the alcove, and he says that after the sacrifice, he says that, you know, now that the library may appear, so either the sacrifice act or the casting of magic in itself in some way is some sort of signaling beacon to tell them that I'm looking for you, or someone, or at least for someone to respond back to Caleb to say, here we are, come find us.
Yeah, it could be, but we go back to what Maximus made a good point, is like, why do they not just communicate? I mean, maybe it's a distance thing. Maybe that makes it more difficult or beyond difficult. I don't know. But then how does a sacrifice connect with them? Like, how does that send a signal? And I don't know. Because if they're making this up, there's no actual god.
Yeah.
Or they're trying to create one. Here's one question.
Satellites.
They decked us out, right? They decked us out in red. Yes?
Yeah,
did,
we're
yeah,
wearing
yeah.
Scarlet, you might say.
Is everybody in the same uniform?
All the other 7 that you met.
No, us. All
Oh.
the 3 of us.
Yeah.
We all have the same uniform on.
Yeah, you're all in the same cut of clothes.
Okay. And when did they say they wanted to meet with us again?
They were going to send for you.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
We still have plenty of time.
Sometime today, probably. They said sometime basically today.
Yeah. What I would actually like to know is what's next. Like, we found the library, it just may not in the form that we expected it to be.
Well, that's it. And what is our goal?
How does it change our mission?
No,
yeah, what's our original goal? Like, what are we trying to
Our
get?
original goal was to get to the Library of Balestria and get as much information as possible.
Yeah, but like,
and
how
that's
are
why
we,
you're here.
Yeah,
like, you were supposed to come with us and read books, basically,
well, that's
and
the
bring
thing.
books
Yeah.
and scrolls.
Like, are we?
Because the way this all started, just as like a refresh, was
Yeah.
You guys were trekking through, captured Grum, read his diary, found all these notes about the Library of Balestria and hidden knowledge and stuff. So that's when Maximus and Cages got sent out. And then the rabbit hole went a bit deeper, and then that's when they came to pick up you and Rami.
Because we realized that basically, you know, it's a library. There's not much information we are going to be able to glean from a library because we're dumb. So we brought you, a scholar, to actually read.
For your commanding officer, this was just like a stab at getting an advantage in life.
Right.
Yeah, I guess the main thing is, it's like, it seems pretty generic, like, get as much information. Like, was there no specific, like, get as much information as you can about this or about that? It was just like, go and read everything.
Go and get as much information about, I guess, powerful items or any kind of advantage, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, real... even at this point in time, even kingdom building is pretty useful. It's pretty useful knowledge, because look at where we are.
That's true. That's fair. Okay, that's what I thought. I thought it was a fairly generic, broad stroke type of request. I just trying to remember if I was forgetting something. So
no, I mean, our original mission, however, still applies. We can, instead of books, now you're asking them information and writing this stuff down on scrolls, I guess, or whatever you have with you in order to remember the information, and then we need to bring it back. It's like a side quest almost. The side quest is, do we help Callum or not? And now that we use Callum to find the Library of Balestria, now we have another option, or actually another quest that popped up. It's like, what the hell are we actually doing here? Who are these people? What do they want, right?
Yeah.
So we can guess all we want, but we're never going to know what's actually going to happen until they actually tell us, unfortunately. So we're going to have to wait, I think. We're going to have to wait. We're going to have to make sure. If they want to kill us, they could have done it by now, I think. As soon as we stepped into the town, they had control.
I have no interest in dying, so I much rather do something about not getting myself killed.
Right, but I mean,
But like I said, so we found the library, which is the mission. But
mhm.
how are we going? What do we bring back to either the Legionnaires or to Caleb? I think that's
Information through
yeah.
through just asking questions in interviews. Maybe they're willing to part with their knowledge by actually telling us what they know. We might spend a couple of days here, and Kane might just spend the days like writing all this information out that they have in their heads or whatever. But we won't know. Again, we won't know until they actually call for us. So there's nothing else we can do right now, I think, besides eat, sleep, get some rest,
And be
right?
merry. Eat,
Unless
sleep,
you
and
guys
be
want to
merry.
do something around town.
I mean, there's nothing frivolous I want to do around town. I'm still reveling over over the reveal. Like, I'm not really feeling like, hey, let's just go casually hang out. Like, I'm like, wait, there's a pretty heavy conversation we're having, and we're trying to figure out what the hell are we getting ourselves into.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not really in a casual type of mood. But I mean, if there's anything we want to do to try to further our understanding, then I'm game for that. But I'm not sure what, other than talking to them, and I don't think they're going to talk to us until they're ready to call us. So.
Right.
Yeah.
So we might as well just wait then.
I think at this point,
Relax.
I mean,
Okay.
yeah, and we don't want to try to be doing too much, because if any of these or all of these guys have the same sort of they're wizards or they have the magical ability, then sneaking around their home turf is not a great idea.
All right.
Agreed.
Not
So
before
agreed.
we at least know what the hell
Yeah.
they're doing or what they want from us. So
We need to know what's on their table. Yeah,
All right.
that
So
makes a
we'll
lot of
wait
sense.
then.
I mean, they could be
About
listening to us right now.
yeah.
Who knows,
However,
right? Like,
we'll wait however many hours until they actually call us, Taffy.
Okay. So we will wait some time while you're talking this over and like ruminating it. And there's going to be a knock on the door, and a woman wearing one of the now Order of 12 jackets is going to stand in the doorway, and she's going to tell you, the time has come and we can talk about it. And she'll lead you back into the same room that you're in before. And Mercus will be sitting at sort of like the head position of the table. And he's going to open up by asking about Callum, what he's been doing.
Last we left Callum, he was still in the town of Dughole, and he was preparing for the defense of the town against the eclipse to the north. He was adamant that we save the town and that we sacrifice people to imbue weapons with magical energy. Aegis here was given a weapon and witnessed the ritual that was necessary in order to imbue that weapon with magic. But for all we know, Callum could have been lying to us. We're not sure of anything now, but
So when you mention the imbuing the weapon, two of the people are going to sort of like come close to each other and mutter. And then when you're done with that delivery, an old man is going to like hold out his hand to Cages and say, "Can I please see this dagger?"
He shoots a glance at Maximus and Kane, and then pulls out his dagger and places it on the old man's hand.
Sure. And he's going to feel the obvious like weightlessness, and he's going to ask you, "Tell me, what is your name again?"
I'm Cages Guillermo.
Good. Cages, why did he do this? And how did he do this?
He showed me a place that he called an alcove, which was basically an altar outside Double. And he strapped a sickly person, someone who was probably not, due for a long life, strapped him on the altar, and he asked that I put the dagger into that man's hand. And when I did, Caleb himself took out the sword and swiped the man's head off. And it was at that moment when the dagger seemed to be burning. And Caleb since told me that this has not been enchanted, as you can feel for yourself.
He's going to hold it by the blade and offer it back to you, and he's going to mutter to himself, "What a waste of life." And then Mercus is going to ask Maximus again, "And has the full Grom perished? Is that why you're here?"
Did Grom perish? No.
That's a pity. Callum could do better.
Do you mind telling us what's going on now? I think we've been kept in the dark for a long time.
Going on in what regard? This meeting or our organization?
First of all, why did Callum send us to you? Why all the lies?
Well, that depends where you come from. You say you are Maximus of the Legion of Warders.
I am.
Now you'll notice we are rather skilled at statecraft and politics. However, we lack a legion. So our inference is that Callum is making a wild swing in the dark to grant us a military arm.
Maximus will smirk at that and say, I am hardly a leader, a captain, a general in my legion. Callum sent you the wrong person. I am just a foot soldier.
That may very well be the case. So how did you come to Dougal if you're part of a legion then, but there are only 3 of you before us?
The Grom that you were mentioning, he got captured by our legion. He was in the area and he was suspicious. And when we went through his scrolls, books, not sure, their journal, there was mention of a library, which piqued our commander's interest. We wanted to, find this library and gain as much knowledge from it as possible. And so one thing led to another, and Grom led us to Dug Hole, where he claimed that Callum could tell us information on how to get to the Library of Balestria, which, in a way, I guess Callum has done so. All we want to do is basically find any lost information, any lost knowledge, and use it to perhaps bring back the Empire in the old ways.
Mercus is going to laugh about bringing back the Empire. He is going to agree on bringing back the old ways. He and everyone else here are tired of they're tired of the way things are right now. There's no order. We're all free, but no one's free to live the life that they want. And that's where they've decided to come in. This has been a plan long in the making, where they wanted to succeed and basically form their own rival kingdom. Was the plan that they had before the Night of Fire happened.
Under the banner of a Scarlet King who you don't have, basically.
But we would have crowned one, and he would have been an embodied god that we would have supported with magic, and that would have been that.
So Caleb's not the only mage, I'm presuming.
You would be correct. but we've lost almost all of them. Caleb has fallen off the deep end. We have no idea where he's got this notion of human sacrifice from. So he must be dealt with.
Are you guys familiar with this altar?
No idea.
Okay, so he found it on his own. And then he's trying to so he's either trying to branch out on his own and become the Scarlet King, or he legitimately is trying to help you guys by building up the mercenaries required, thinking he can do it one by one.
We don't know how going to war with bandits and orcs would benefit us.
No, and I don't see that as illogical, but as you say, he's been off the deep end. What is your understanding, or are you involved at all in this tree that we ran across in the middle of the desert?
No, that's the Scarlet. That's the eclipse. That's the eclipse's tree.
Yeah, I'm just curious how much you guys know of it,
We
or if you are at all involved in it.
we know enough. We have agents spread somewhat far, so we are aware of the strange ritual that they go through in that area. You wouldn't
Okay.
be surprised to know that that's not the only tree they have.
Yeah, it doesn't shock me.
Makes total sense. Yeah. So let's just
Would
say,
it surprise you to say that it was an elvish tree?
That's a little bit more surprising.
are you saying that the eclipse is elvish?
No, not at all. It's just interesting to us that they do use elvish trees for this purpose.
Do they have the ability to live in places that are more barren?
Hard to say.
Because that could be it could just be a circumstantial thing.
Could
But
be.
still, worth noting.
I think the question is, where do we go from here? We have a mission to grab as much information to help our legion out about any knowledge is valuable. And that's all. That's our mission. You seem to have a problem in Callum. You're saying that he is no longer, well, he may still be following your directives, but he's not doing it in a way that you approve. That's for sure. Right?
Absolutely.
But he sent us here to you. You're thinking maybe to provide a military arm that you sorely lack. From our standpoint, we do have a legion. If you give us the information from the Library of Balestria, so your minds, I can go back to the legion and we can discuss perhaps helping each other, I suppose, if that is what you want.
They're keen for the plan.
Okay.
What do we know out of character, Taff? What do we know of the Elvish, culture? Not so much culture, but like, is it a widespread thing? Like, is there a lot of because I know we're all human.
Oh no, yeah. Before the Night of Fire, the elves were like really secluded.
Okay.
As far as I understand the lore notes from the PDF.
Oh, maybe I don't remember.
So,
I'll see if I can find it.
But I know in the after, the elves have their magic back and they're pissed off.
Pissed off, yeah. That's quite right.
Put it that way.
They have their magic back. Okay. So that's worth noting that the eclipse may be backed. Would they either have a strong ally, or they're going to be pissing off the wrong people by using their trees? One or the other. Worth noting. Okay, that's good information.
Yeah, elves are probably not a good player to be in the picture.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if you agree to the plan, if you could start providing my companion here, Kane, with whatever information you can, I'm gonna guess that it's gonna take a couple of days for you to give him whatever information you can. And then after you give him that information, we'll make our trek back to the Legion of the Warders and tell them about you and tell them that perhaps we can make a deal.
They're fine following your train of thought.
Okay.
You seem a lot friendlier than I thought they would be.
Yeah.
Could be a trap again.
Traps within traps, layers within layers.
I mean, we were fine with Calum, and clearly,
Exactly.
I mean, I guess
Clearly.
Cages is here. You could start making like empathy rolls to see if they're freaking lying to our faces,
I wish to stare deeply into Mercus's eyes.
right?
I'll roll for that.
Tell
again,
me his soul.
again,
Are
I
they
will say
are they lying to us? Like
Again, I will
bald-faced
say
lies, or are they
they just
actually
believes
earnest?
Callum. They
Yeah,
could
but
just be
now
very-
like they literally told us that Callum lied to our face, so maybe Cages will be a little bit more watchful.
So you want me to roll for that?
Yeah, sure. Let's roll for that.
Alright.
Maximus and Kane have some
Wow.
star points for the cool
Let's
role
see,
playing.
1, 2, 3. Just 3.
Just
Three
3.
success.
Okay. So you're empathizing.
The
So,
hell does that mean?
in your empathizing, they all looked very pissed off about the sacrificing stuff.
Glad I'm not the only one.
Yeah, half of them were very idly listening. Half of them were like really half interested in what was going on. And on setting the terms with Maximus, Mercus he had the look of someone that like had more up his sleeve. You know, like from your history with dealing with people and money, it's like he's got more silver than he's letting on, kind of thing.
That's
So
probably
he hasn't given his best
We
price
don't,
in your
yeah.
estimation.
We don't know enough about them to know what they can offer, really.
Yeah,
So he's getting the easy way out, in a sense.
yeah.
I can whisper that to Maximus if you're still in the room, but I don't think there's
I mean, all three of
much
us are in
more
the
we
room,
can
but
do about that.
yeah, exactly. What am I gonna ask for? Okay, I know that you've got something up your sleeve. I want like I don't know, magic armor to
remove
I
your
don't just
give
want
it
the
to me
knowledge.
now.
I
It's
want
like when you
you.
make an inside check and you say you're lying.
But I mean, they basically just
So
agreed.
what?
They just agreed to finishing our mission. They agreed to handing over whatever information that they feel free, like they feel is okay, like, and getting on our like in our perspective, getting any information would be a win, basically, right? Like when we set off, they had our commanders had no freaking idea what the hell was in this library anyway. Yeah. It's
I
not
mean,
like they said, go there, find the plans for a newly made like +5 magic catapult or some shit, right? It's
No, I
just
feel like
literally
if we
go
go
there,
back-
find information, and that's what we did.
Yeah, I feel like if we go back with this information, we'll have been considered a success. However, I think there's obviously going to always be more, but we have determined already significant information that was not already known, or it better not have been known, because if it was, we weren't let in on it.
And if you think about it, I didn't really give away that much either. I told them that I'd go back and talk to our commanders and let them know that there's the freaking this faction of whatever, the faction of 12 or whatever the hell.
How serious are we for making this work? Like, do we really want the Legionnaires to be working with these guys, or we are just like making half empty promises?
No, that is a promise. I will go back. I will tell my commanders that there is a
Yeah,
freaking faction.
But are we going to be leaning towards making this work, or we're just going to be the messengers and probably get shot for it?
Why would we get shot for it?
Because if we go back with information that Zarenclov thinks is useless to him, then he'll probably put us on the chopping block.
But
Your
for
legs
wasting
are climbing the glass cliff.
for wasting his goddamn time and probably ours as well.
I don't think this knowledge would be useless. I mean, if anything, it gives us, like, we're a scouting party. We've given them information about what the landscape's like, what factions there are further on. That's actually valuable knowledge all by itself. The fact that our scholar is now about to, I guess, get more knowledge from the Library of Balestria and these 7 people, whatever he can get is actually a plus to what we've already put on the plate, basically, right? Like, the Legion has not ventured out this far, right, Taffy?
Correct.
So every step that we take away from the Legion gives them more information about what's out here anyway. I mean, right? I mean, that by itself is knowledge that is useful. You already want to be...
That is
Well,
knowledge.
I mean, that's
you
the
want to
only-
be
that's-
aware
that's-
of your surroundings if you're going
I
to do
mean,
any
that's
kind of
what
military
that's what we are
campaign.
That's what we are sent to do. But now we have this extra thing that we can do for the Legionnaire and for the Council of 12. Like, do we want to do the extra thing? Do we want to go the extra mile? Is what I'm asking.
So to answer your question, no, I'm not going to. I'm going to just tell them the minimum that they need to know, basically. This is what they're here. You guys make your decisions on whether you want to contact them further and make an alliance. That's totally up to you. I am happy just finishing my mission.
You don't see this as a way to rebuild the empire?
I do, but I mean, the thing
obviously,
is, I don't
they do make
trust
sense.
these
Like
people.
you can't build you can't have an army, but you can't have a kingdom without statesmen, and these guys seems to be the right guys for the job.
The empire that I want to rebuild is the old Ascondian Empire anyway, not this newly created half-baked empire that they're trying to create with a Scarlet King god that they haven't actually manifested. It just feels wrong. It feels like it's gonna fall apart, and it just feels like it feels like a joke to me. So no, I would not actually. This is not the empire that I'm trying to rebuild, basically. I'm trying to rebuild the old one.
Not with these people anyways. Okay.
Right.
All right. I catch your drift, Maximus.
I catch what you're throwing down.
I think if anybody had I think the Legion by itself would have a better chance of rebuilding the Ascondi Empire without these people. I mean, forgive me if I'm but the law of blood requires us to kill lots of people, does it not? Right?
It requires
It's
death.
Right. So, I mean, wanton destruction and death is not something I don't think that, out of character, I don't think that Maximus necessarily wants. I mean, even when he tortured Grom, it was for a purpose, right?
It wasn't torturing him as much
It was
as you're
punching him.
Well, there is wanton destruction, and there is destruction that is necessary. For example, I don't think that. I mean, if you want to rebuild the empire, you have to deal with somebody like the Eclipse.
Right.
Yes.
And I don't think the Eclipse is going to be not going to give up his position without any kind of blood.
Violence is the supreme authority from which all other authority is derived.
They just rubbed me the wrong way.
I still see your
them.
point. I still see your point, Maximus. If you don't trust this Council of 12 and these librarians, then we just might as well just milk them dry for what they know and what we can use for the Legionnaires.
Guys,
I mean,
can we just stop rubbing you the wrong way, milking them dry? Can you guys just stop, please?
Oh, gross.
Come on. Can you
rub
stop?
them, you milk them.
Can you just stop being so gross, guys? We're trying to be serious.
Just get him on a table.
You know, I'm
You
trying
know,
to be
if you-
here. I'm an educated scholar, and I just have to sit here and deal with you two. Just as like, God.
If you like him so much, why don't you marry him?
Excuse me for being so literal.
I'm gonna
All right,
ignore that
so-
happened anyway.
So Kane's gonna be busy, possibly busy for the next few days.
Yeah, Kane's gonna be busy in the next few days.
As much as I like to enjoy myself, I don't really think I don't really think that I want to be hanging my legs for too long.
Jesus. So how long does it take, Taffy, if you're Kane, to write down these scrolls of information that the library is going to give him?
What is my scroll per hour writing rate?
Well, that's actually a good question. Take how fast you can type your words per minute divided by 3.
Okay, all right. I'm sure I say okay, so 40.
But-
all right.
Yeah, so carry a 2 because it is on papyrus.
That's true, and that does slow you down.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah, are you going to use your poisonous ink to
What?
your acid ink?
No,
We
I
don't
don't
have
think
that.
those
We didn't
behind.
take that. We didn't take
Yeah,
that
we
with
didn't-
us.
we
Could you
couldn't-
imagine you writing with that in the paper,
I
just
would-
like
love to do that though. That would be awesome role playing.
that would be
but,
great.
no.
You're like, here it is, boss. And
I
it's
mean,
all
I
on the
guess.
paper.
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, like, we're using this word knowledge. Kane, what knowledge do you think you need from them?
Well, and this is why I was saying, like, it seems like it's an awful generic, broad stroke. Like, there's more knowledge in the world than like I could be writing forever. So I think some of this information that we've already gotten is going to be huge. Having a better understanding of how the world now sits and what the sort of, you know, the elves, whether or not we already knew that, and this order and the Scarlet King. But I think that's why I was double checking. Like, it's odd that we didn't have more of a specific, like, what are they trying to figure out, the Legion?
I think your goal,
Oh, let's just imagine
if you have to ask,
the useful to the
right?
Legion is. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. If they ask you, like, what do you want? What kind of information would you like? Anything military based would be good, I guess, first. Like magic weapons, I don't know, like how to create
I guess
siege
that's where my mind would
devices, that
go.
kind of
Yeah,
stuff,
like
maybe.
I guess that's that kind of, yeah. I think my focus would lean towards not from both a character perspective as well as knowing, you know, the ultimate goal would be probably magical, defensive and offensive, so militaristic magic, both so that we can, you know, further enhance the military, but also that's the stuff that I find fascinating. So I would think, and I mean, that also is unlikely to I'm unlikely to get that information anywhere else. I already know how
If they
rare
have
that
it.
information is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, if there is anything on anything related to magic, and yeah, and military or militaristic in terms of maybe any current outposts and stuff since the Night of Fire, and then Night of Fire itself, any information they have on the Night of Fire.
Okay.
If they have anything. I mean, if they're all knowing, they may have information on that, and that's obviously a global thing, right? Like, that's like the coronavirus of this campaign. It's like you can't not be talking about it.
And it's like, it was like so recent. We're only 2 years after everything's defrosted, which is only 2 years after the Night of Fire.
Yeah, so it's like, if they have any information on that, I have to imagine that's going to be top priority.
And maybe cement.
Yeah.
It's a building block for any kind of kingdom
Mhm.
rebuilding.
Yeah.
Literally and figuratively.
Although if I'm not mistaken as well, I'm not sure about the exact details of the lore in the world, but I think even metalsmithing seems to be like a lost art.
Yeah. Even metalsmithing's the last art.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
that kind of
that's
information would be
Yeah,
really
so like I
great.
suppose any sort of manufacturing again that could be aligned with the military.
mass production of things.
But yeah,
Things like the train
Night
of
of
like
or
apprentice
refinement of
masters was broken.
yeah, so anything that can help get it, like again, so from a military perspective, whether it be like manufacturing or current outposts or anything, or like stashes or lost, like anything that the team they could use, anything magical, and then Night of Fire is kind of my main 3 focuses that I'm looking for.
Sure.
I know
I'm
that's
almost
still
done
pretty.
typing this.
No, that's
Oh,
okay.
you're
I know
typing
that's
all
still
the
pretty.
information down.
yeah.
I know that's still
Take a
pretty
long
I've
broad
been buying
strokes,
time
but-
by asking questions.
I see. So you're gonna type out
will-
all this information about how to make ourselves like more a bigger military power, how to manufacture weapons and stuff. You've been typing
You
out
don't
how
know
to.
my hobbies.
Wow, that's a lot
I
of typing, dude.
will ask slower questions.
He will just send you a Google search link.
Here.
Yeah, right.
There you go. This is how you
Happy,
make
why did
cement.
you send me?
Done.
Why did you send me a link to the Desolation PDF? What's that?
So in the Night of Fire,
All right,
just
so
narrating like page 8.
Now you can read page 8.
okay, so I will say I've jotted down I've jotted down my information.
Yeah. But how long all that will take? That's my next question.
It's probably
you can
take more
figure out.
time to find valuable things than actually to jot them down. So I will say the information that I garnered, based on having to filter through like scrolls that are kind of frivolous or useful or useless stuff, but actually getting the main stuff, I don't know what we do. Hours?
Wait,
How
but
fast would I?
That's pretty quick.
wait, it's not scrolls though. You're not reading through scrolls. If like they are the library, are they not?
Well, that's
So
I guess
They-
that's
everything
keep
in their
records.
heads.
Sorry, what?
They keep records.
Oh, they do keep records. Okay, so they're
it's
not.
it's basically like me sitting there and
They-
asking questions, and then they go and say, "Oh, well, this tells you blah 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 blah" type
Yeah.
stuff.
Okay.
It's like the question is like, well, here's the scroll.
So I mean, you could confirm for me, Taff, if you want, but like, how long would it have taken for me to garner this information?
Well, it only would have taken you hours to like get
Yeah.
specific points you're looking for.
That's what I'm kind of thinking. Okay, so
We have
Okay.
we can spend a day here. Grab more information. If it only took
typing,
you
Taffy.
hours to find
Typing.
information about the military, then I don't know. Find like you're a scholar, right? You must be interested in other stuff as well. So
Oh, I want to read every
Everything.
spell book I can find, but
Right,
Nerd.
nerd, yeah, right, nerd.
I mean, you'd
So
probably
I'll-
be finding more information about magic then, right? Which again is probably
if it's,
useful.
I mean, I'd be asking them about it. I don't know if they would be divulging it. Plus, don't forget that a lot of the people who are here don't understand it. I mean, there might be scrolls and books and records, and hopefully they kept good records. If there are truly these intelligent people, the ones who have perished would have documented some stuff. But I will say that as I was kind of prodding into that stuff, because I'm fascinated by it, they are very elusive about providing any details on the magic side of things. Some information I did find, I'll share this with you guys after I'm done. They want to appoint a king, and they want to raise a banner to Callum. Or sorry, they want to basically appoint a king and to kind of raise a banner and kind of like that. This relates to their kingdom stuff, I'm assuming. Callum, I'm just gonna read this verbatim. Callum is a bastard son. He was born unto his mother with no father. So he basically he's just a bastard through and through.
That is exactly what I was going for. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of figured. Yeah. Yeah, I usually take what you type to me and I try to characterize it
Yeah.
and role play it a bit.
Well, it's better than the way I type it. It's
Well,
like,
it's
you know, I type a message like, sexy elves, question mark.
the elf's porcelain skin gives me a happy.
You're so good.
Yeah. So where we are in the world, one thing that I did note is that it's a more ordered part of the world. So through their influence and agents, like there's a lot more structure in where we are, whereas the rest of the world is very much in chaos. Very much. Taff, I assume where you say they, you're referring to the library.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So they still really strongly believe that magic is deadly and they can't rely on it, and that could lean from the fact that their magic users are mostly all perished. So relying on that clearly didn't work for them. That is just a speculation, but they do believe that magic is deadly, and that probably is why they've avoided giving me any specifics on that. There are properties that can be imbued or baked into weapons. However, again, they very much believe the process of using this magic is too dangerous and not worth the risk. Let me just read this here. Okay. The Eclipse is one of many groups that exist out there doing things. However, the Eclipse, they are gaining the traction because with all the chaos that's out there, they find their order and their just dominance. They find safety in it, right? Because it's understandably it's a show of power, and in this world of uncertainty, that makes a lot of sense. So, if our military and our if we can build ours up and become that driving force, that might be enough to take some support away from the Eclipse. They can draw plans, so they can kind of architect plans for structures, but they don't know how to use them. So structures meaning like equipment, furnaces, blacksmithies, like, so they know how to build them, but they don't know how to use them, basically. So they have this structural or engineering capacity, but not the
actual
the
blacksmithing skill. Okay.
Yeah, so they understand how to create the
works
stuff,
in theory.
but then you're on your own.
But at least
it's like IKEA. We'll give you the parts, but you got to put it together, man. You got to figure it out.
But at least, I mean, that's a start. It's better than not having that knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the only other thing that I really read about, because I was really trying to find stuff on the Night of Fire, and we already kind of know this, but it's a real, like, the night, it was caused by the dependence, that everyone's dependence on magic, and it's if you keep depending on something, you keep pulling all ways, it's eventually going to give way, and that's essentially what happened. Is mankind relied on it too much, and it kind of blew up in our face. It's kind of the impression that I get from reading through this stuff.
So in a Scarlet Kingdom, magic is still going to be, taboo.
Not as used, probably.
Yeah, especially given that they've lost a lot of their sorcerers, I would imagine that would be reinforced too.
Okay, so I mean, just listening to the information that you got, the blacksmithy alone, like the smithy, like being able to at least even create the
plans
structures,
and the designs.
Yeah, the plans, the designs,
That
more
in itself
knowledge
is
of this
valuable.
area itself. I mean, I think that's valuable knowledge that the Legion will want, definitely, right?
Yeah, I would whether they want it or not, I think it would be certainly valuable to have.
Right.
Whether they can leverage blacksmithing or any of that at this point, I don't know. But if I can bring back plans to say, hey, here you go, this is how we set it up. Again, you guys figure out how to use it, but it's not like they're expecting us to bring back craftsmen, so
right,
or artisans.
Well, we'll be kidnapping craftsmen for the next patch.
Yeah, but like, hey, this guy is really good at making artisan cupcakes, so I brought him back.
Snag him up.
Make bread. Have you ever seen this guy carve a woodpecker before? Oh.
At any point, does Mercus come back and talk with us?
Whittle.
Because what I'm getting here is Callum has completely, well, maybe not completely, but definitely at least a little bit gone off the rails. is not following the plans. Yes.
Oh no, Mercus said he completely lost his mind.
Yeah, I think
So
at least the part about his
Callum
fanaticism
still
is
sent us here. Is the thing. He must want something. Do you have any idea what it might be? Like, oh, first, actually, does Mercus come back and talk to us at least one more time before we leave?
Yeah, he will.
Okay. And does he have any idea why? Like, besides, oh, let's have a military arm. Like, he would
Well,
realize that
Well, what
you
does he
would
want
tell
from the
us
library?
that he's crazy, right?
Well, that's why he says that's why they asked about Grum, because you've come in and you've brought this really disturbing news, and they were just wondering if Grum was related to this, if he passed, or why there was a change in
Okay.
not only messenger but also tone, because this is the first they're really hearing of like what Callum's doing on the side.
What was
To
Grom
put it in a
telling you
way.
before then? That must mean that Grom has sent you messages and you've met with him. What was he telling you that Callum was doing?
All he ever did was report like the town building, like the numbers of people,
And
the deaths,
that is what you sent him to do. That was Callum's mission, to build up
yeah.
that town.
Callum's mission was just to get everyone on board with him, and
He's done that,
the
from what I've seen.
and the whole religious operation that they've got going.
Yeah, he's done that too. He does have a lot of fanatic followers, that's for sure. So that he has done.
But if he's sacrificing people and getting into unnecessary wars, then they're going to have to they'll have to deal with him.
Correct me if I'm sounding odd, but you make it sound like Grom. You call him the fool, but you make it sound like Grom has an influence on Caleb.
That's what they're afraid of.
Yeah, which is something that sounds odd to me because Grom's, as far as we know, is just an errand boy to Caleb.
That's what he's supposed
So
to be.
So how is Grom? How or what kind of influence can Grom possibly have on Caleb?
It could be just inflating his ego. You mentioned an alcove.
Is Grom
Maybe this is Grum's doing.
So
is Grom a part of the 12?
No. Grum, as far as we know, was the first person that Callum made a connection with to get an in into Dougal.
So Grom might be
worried he's been whispering weird things in his ears.
So either Grom is a lot more influential than we realize.
Grum believes that there's actually a god that would enter this dimension.
Right. So in a way, Caleb's been feeding him lies about the Scarlet King, and Grom made it the truth, and then fed it back to Caleb.
So do you guys know then why Kalen was sending Grom out to find you guys?
For all of their agents, they do routine reports.
Right.
It's just an admin thing on their part.
Right. So that
like
makes sense.
Riddick, Nepal, it's a collection of towns, and that's where the rest of them are.
Here's a question. Were you actually in this location? I'll show them on the map.
Right.
Remember that old temple that we were at before?
Mm-hmm.
The first time.
Were you in this location a couple of... Was it a week ago?
You're basically weeks ago now. They were passing through the area. They can't say they know that place specifically.
Okay.
Right.
They were passing through on their way here.
So that was the last time you saw Grom, I'm assuming.
Yes.
When you guys ran into Grom, like what was your interaction like?
He smiles too much. He talks too sweetly, and obviously his self-importance has got the better of him.
of importance. You know, I know something called Peter now of that.
Well, thank you for your time. Unless
Just
you guys
out
have
of curiosity, what do you intend to do with Caleb? We are not going back, I think. But what do you want to do with Caleb?
If he cannot be reasoned with, then we're going to be short a member for a while.
Fair enough.
It's the way things work.
I wish you good luck on that.
Are you going to do anything about the eclipse? You seem to be the organized structure of civilization in this area. Are you planning on doing anything about the eclipse, or are you just going to leave it as be?
He's going to look very proud at being mentioned as like the bastion of civilization. But he'll concede that there's nothing they can do. They just literally don't have the might or the equipment, or they'll never be able to rally people to make any kind of stand, let alone go and take them out.
They just whispers to Maximus, we can do something about that.
We'll talk about that later. And then to Mercus, well, I think you've given us a lot of information. Thank you. We will tell our commanders of your organization and the fact that this eclipse threatens us all. And perhaps joining forces with you is not the worst idea. Especially since you seem to
stop.
know.
You're such a sweet talker. It's not the worst idea.
I have no charisma. This is how
yeah.
This is how he talks.
See how
this
he
is how
changed
Maximus
from best
talks.
to worst.
Yeah.
He chose his words wisely. He didn't say best.
He's also honest. This is exactly what Maximus is thinking, so he's gonna blurt it out. So we will tell them that the eclipse is bad and that yes, joining hands with you is not terrible. Hopefully we will be able to get you a response, or someone else will. I don't know what it took like a week to get here, so in about 3 weeks, I guess, a month maybe.
Mm-hmm. And he'll bid you farewell.
And then when we can
turn and leave.
Right. Well, and as soon as we pack up on supplies, whatever supplies we can get from this city, we will also leave. Unless there's something else you guys want to do here.
You can't get something for nothing.
These red cloaks are nice.
Who the hell wants your secondhand clothes?
I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but these cloaks, they're scarlet red.
They'll get you in somewhere.
It's like, yeah, but we gave those to... Oh, man.
Yeah, you're going to have to roll something
Yeah,
if you
what
want
else?
to trade your
Yeah,
clothes.
what else do you have
We're
to
trading
supply?
clothes. I'm sure people want clothes.
We might want a new
clothes.
tarp at the same time.
I don't know. We have nothing. We have no money. You literally started us off with no money whatsoever.
Yeah.
Because there is no money.
You also
hell's the
didn't
money?
start us off
Money
with
is
a lot of
useless.
equipment either. We have
It's a
our
dead
weapons
economy.
and that's about it.
He's well aware that he didn't give
Yep.
us any.
Yeah.
That's all there is in this land.
This is
So,
not. This is ain't no
the only
5e.
thing that I have gotten, besides the clothes on my back and the weapons and the food that we already have, are the red cloaks and the red uniforms.
Now you've got a change of clothes. You have a new cloak.
And here you go. I'm trading it
You've
for
got your
food.
green one. You've got your red one.
We trade the red ones for the green ones.
I'm trading in the red ones for more food and water.
What
My
I'm trying
God,
to
man.
tell you, no one's gonna take your cloak for.
Hey,
and
just
give
sweet
you
talk
a
them.
day's
Go,
worth of
do it.
food.
Go talk to someone and get money, or no, not money. Get food and supplies for this. Go, Cages.
Sure. Convince
What?
someone that they should not eat for the night. and instead wear your
so that
clothes.
we can eat for the night.
Yeah, so
Exactly.
we can eat for the night.
God damn it. Okay, they must go hunting then. If food is that scarce here, they must go hunting. So therefore,
hunting.
there is stuff to find and stuff to eat, and there must be water somewhere. Yes, in this city.
Yeah, that's fine.
Is water free at least? Is there like a common well that you can go to?
Why would
No?
there be a common well?
Go to a river.
So
Yeah, you can go to a river if you want water.
sure, let's go to a river. That's free
To
water.
well,
Go get your own water.
what kind of fruity place do you think this is? Come on,
right,
man.
so-
Do you want it sparkling too? Well, it bubbles out of the sky.
I mean, you know,
Do you
if you
want
can.
it in with busty barmaids?
Actually, yes, that'd be nice. But anyway,
Would be pretty good.
okay,
Probably
so
easy to find beer than water.
we will go to the river. We will get some fresh water. We will fish if possible, since there
Fish.
apparently
What's
is
your
river.
fishing skill? Roll for fish.
Roll for fish.
Yeah.
Roll
Is
8
it to
dice.
roll-
Just
is
roll
it
8
to
dice.
roll-
It's fine.
You just to
Roll
roll
8
to
dice.
find fishes in the river or the skill fishing. But the other question is, how long would it take to go back to the last known camp location?
Actually, my first question is fishing. How do you intend to fish? Like by hand, or are you gonna stab him?
We're going
Maximus's
to stab
nickname
him
is
How
Bear
with a
Hand.
sharp
Bear
stick.
Paw.
I've got a license to bear arms.
Oh, with bone
Maximus Bear
sticks. There you
Paw.
go.
The bone
Don't you have
sticks. You
survival?
picked up bone sticks?
Sure. There's bone trees. I'm sure I can make a bone stick somewhere.
That's fair.
Or bone spears.
Okay.
You can do survival.
Yeah. Okay. Let's roll survival. And roll. 1 success. Go.
Congratulations, you get 1 day's worth of fish food.
Good.
1 nutritional value.
Not fish for a day. Fish food. So you get some flakes.
No.
You just get like the frozen cube of blood
He
worms.
said 1 nutritional value of food, so I'm gonna take it.
It was actually a floating clump of moss.
Whatever. It's food.
Remy would be
And
proud.
Yeah,
we
Remy might
will
have stolen that from me.
continue fishing, I guess.
That's going to be +2 on your difficulty.
Okay.
These fish know you're here now.
Mhm.
Is there any?
Taking
You said
averages?
something about what is it? Isn't there a synergy or something that I can use?
If you have another skill that's above skill rating of 4, you can synergize.
Yeah.
Or we can just help you and just give you and give
I'm
you
gonna
a
go with
+2.
stealth.
Going
be
with
good.
stealth.
Yes,
Stealth
the
actually makes
fish do
sense.
not know I'm here. You kind of sneak up on the fish before you,
Coming.
stab them.
He's going to stop splashing around in the water.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
exactly. There you go. Okay.
I will let you take this role
Uh-huh.
if Cages and Kane can convince me that they're gonna stand and watch you fish for a few hours.
What else are
Oh,
they
this
gonna
is
do?
this is the most entertainment we've had in a while.
Yeah.
Because we just get
Watching
to
Max-
see him going,
Watching Maximus
"Ah!
fish.
Stop doing it!" He usually keeps such an even keel. He usually keeps such a stone face thing, but he's just getting so pissed off by these fish that I'm just I 100% would want to see this. Plus,
Yeah.
every so often, I'll kind of like go like this and mutter a few things and kind of give a smirk over to Cages and make like a water splash behind him so he thinks the fish is behind him.
Yes.
So you don't want to eat when you travel back home? That's what you're telling me?
I'm just
No.
really enjoying this
Yeah.
entertainment.
Much rather have fun.
Just like-
1, 2.
I'll
3.
even take up to 5 points of burn to make this prestidigitation work.
Well, before he does that,
Totally
I rolled
worth
3
it.
successes. Go.
Did
Oh
you?
wow.
I did.
Have-
There it is.
Have another one.
Have another one?
Another one.
Okay, guys. Well, this is my fish. I hope you guys enjoy starving on our way back. Good luck.
It's 2 weeks back to your last known landmark.
Yeah.
In
Well,
your
they're not helping. They're watching and laughing. So fuck them.
Oh my.
What's the terrain like? Are we going through desert again?
Yes.
Yeah, that would be like the most direct way back.
Will it be the shorter way back?
That's a different question. You did say you weren't going back to Dougal, so
We aren't.
Right,
That's actually true. We are not going back to Dougal. We're going, instead of going, what is it, north
So if I
into the
remember
west.
correctly, we were going like
Yeah, we're just
westerly,
making a straight
and
line.
now
back.
we are like going southeast. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
well remembered.
So is there like a portion of the southeast that doesn't have to cut through the desert?
Yeah. So hopefully it doesn't cut through the desert. You're gonna hit that stupid mountain again.
Well, hopefully they'll make the Legionnaires will have
can't,
been on
like,
the other side of the mountain.
Just walk on the outskirts of the mountain.
Sure.
Okay. And how much food did we already have left? Because we did have food, right?
Should have
When we
food.
came here, so
You
we
packed
should
for
have
5 days,
right.
but it only took you like 3 days.
Right. So we actually should have 2 days of
You already
food.
had
I think
food
what
anyway.
Plus, we killed those octopi,
Mhm.
and we got food there. Did we not?
You did get food from them. They were
So
delicious.
how much food do we get from them?
You got 4.
Right. So
2, 4, 6 plus just the two fish.
that's no. Those 2 are mine. I'm not giving that to you.
No, there's 8. So if you're not including the fish, that's 6. So that's still not enough for a week.
Well, I guess we're gonna have to hunt as we go.
That's probably going to be how things are gonna work for a while.
Yeah.
So the plan is to run straight up to the mountain range and then follow it
Follow it
as we
to
go
yeah.
until we can get back on the other side.
Right.
I don't think anyone's going to propose climbing the mountain again
Nope.
because that'll be madness.
And we don't have the equipment for that anyway.
Your Legion
That's
didn't
true.
have the equipment either.
Yeah. That's
Well,
true.
that's not my problem right now.
That's probably something we should have. That's probably something we should have asked for in the library, but oh well. How to climb mountains?
Oh,
And
go
actually, it's
there.
more like how to climn mountains and not get killed. Probably the more
Yeah.
proper.
You walk back and it's like, that was a quick journey. We need to know how to climb a mountain. America's help.
I mean, if we get stuck, I may be able to figure something out, but it's probably something that's going to take a lot out of me. So
Yeah,
we
we're
don't
not
need
climbing a
to.
mountain. It's gonna be
Yeah.
impossible.
Yeah.
So
So
let's
the good
begin the
news is if
trip.
we can, yeah, the good news is if we can see if the Legionnaires make it onto the other side, the trip will take much shorter.
That's also true. We might run into them before we go all the way back, I suppose.
Mm.
Daff, we're gonna make that journey.
You're gonna make that journey.
Yep.
So let's think about your first night. I need all of you to make a buddy roll.
Already?
Mm-hmm.
Buddy.
Buddy.
2 successes.
So we just roll the number of dice equal to our body, correct?
Yep.
Guess what, bitches? My chances are doubled now,
Oh wow.
and I got a 1.
Failed. I failed everything.
I just failed. I just failed.
Okay.
I got 1 out of 2.
Okay. That is okay. That's fine.
It's okay
So
to
you're-
fail.
What happened to Cages?
He's going to sleep now, isn't he?
Yeah.
So is Kane.
And they never wake up.
It's nighttime.
It's nighttime. Night
It's-
time. Not nighttime. Just
exhausting.
nighttime.
Yeah, 'cause yeah. You're fine. You're camping out, but Cages and Kane are both feeling very ill. Come the next morning. Something river water.
something dysentery.
Yeah, something. There's a reason people only drank beer back in the old days because it was safer because it was filtered.
Well,
something diarrhea.
enjoy the
Maximus somehow
shits.
has avoided this.
Yeah.
But you have now become the Brown Legion.
Well, Maximus doesn't mind as long as they keep moving.
As long as they keep moving.
Yep.
Well, if you keep pressing them, they're gonna start feeling dehydrated and sad
Oh,
and
wow.
exhausted
Yeah.
and start taking lethal wounds.
Mhm.
Well, the next time we stop, we're going to probably boil the water, aren't we? And make sure there's
Yeah.
no germs in there.
If we're just feeling a little under the weather, I probably wouldn't do anything magical. But if it starts to get like worse, where
I
we
know you
start
guys
to
are like full on throw up. You're looking gray.
right, but do I feel
Healing.
like I'm just like there's a difference between like feeling like terrible and feeling like you're gonna die. Where am I?
I can't say I know what that feels like, so I wouldn't be able to tell.
Like I know like people have said if they've actually had the flu, the actual flu, they'd rather just die because they feel terrible.
I can confirm your whole body is in pain. It's
Yeah, so like if I'm feeling like that, I would probably try to do something. I don't know what though, because I'm not like sorcery is not really a maybe a purification of some sort.
gonna go
But-
find a rock and rub the moss on yourself.
Yeah, right. Just like I just want to numb everything.
I don't want to feel anymore.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't want it.
No, Cages
So
will
you
definitely
can-
be complaining a lot.
But just walking without pants. It's easier this way.
Yeah, that's probably true as well.
It's easier this and when we come back through like years down the road, there's this oddly shaped like string of vegetation from all the fertilization.
This green trail of
Oh, wrong.
You're welcome.
Are you gonna try anything, Kane, or are we gonna just shit and puke all the way there?
So here's the thing, guys. How's our water situation?
Not good.
So
We've got river water for
Yeah,
pretty much the
so I-
entire trip.
What can I do? I was able to generate some water before.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have this conversation with you guys, and I'll be like, I was able to generate a little bit of water before. We could try to do something, or I could try to purify the water or something. Because the thing is, if we're this sick, we're gonna need more water because we're dehydrating ourselves by throwing up. And
I think you should work on trying to maybe purify your bodies first.
yeah, well, in that case, maybe we have to take an early camp, take some of this river water and boil it. Like just throw it on a fire, and then we'll have more water to drink.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
maybe
I
we
mean,
just take the
I'm
time to
planning
do that.
on doing something like that, at least boiling it before we drink it again. It's just that we're not going to get far if you
No.
basically sit every 30 seconds to take a crap. So,
Well, that's why I'm thinking we just, since we're like hopefully this passes, and in the meantime we camp and try to like boil some water now.
This
But
is the catch-22. The more you
yeah,
lose water, the more you're gonna have to take in.
well, that's what I'm thinking. So if we sit now and like focus, focus today on restocking our water supplies by
can
collecting
we?
and boiling.
Is there a river nearby and we can restock our water supply?
I mean, you can backtrack to the one you were at.
Mm,
You haven't made it that far.
not with all the pit stops.
hmm
Oh my god.
I'm good either way, but I'm just saying this is not something I can control, at least not right now, and I'm not aware of any healing
Okay,
ability.
fine. Screw it.
You know what? I'm just gonna ask this. Is Oh no, we sent him back to the. Remember, our companion.
Remy's
I
not
couldn't
here
remember
with
where
us,
he
no.
was.
We sent
No,
him
no.
back alone
Yes,
with no
yes.
supplies.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
We might
we
find
are,
him somewhere on the way.
we're gonna
Maybe.
Oh, look at
backtrack.
this! Oh, look at this body.
Look at him. He looks thirsty.
Jeff, we're gonna
Hmm.
backtrack. We're gonna make a camp right beside that river.
Okay.
We're going to boil as much water as we can, right? And then we're gonna
Okay.
empty our canteens or whatever we have and fill them with the clean water, hopefully,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
And then during that
And pray
time,
tell, what pot are you boiling this water in?
we don't have a pot. How are we eating food?
Do you have hands?
So we had octopus meat
Mm-hmm.
that we had to cook,
Mm-hmm.
and at no
I
time
was
did
just
we ever
skipping
have a
the
pot.
extraneous details.
Okay, well, that's
Well,
you
the other thing
just
too is,
added it
but here's
in
the thing,
now.
with meat,
We
So
could say you have a pot.
but with
It's
meat,
just never really
though,
appeared.
like, to be fair, meat you could just put on a stick and hold over a fire. Like, you don't need.
yeah, but we've been eating
Yeah.
like and cooking food for the entire playthrough, right? And this
We've
has
been
never
cooking.
come up.
I don't recall
We have been
we ever collecting
carnivorous.
firewood.
Well, I was gonna say, to be fair, I always just assumed we were just holding it, or like that's why I was burying mine to try another wet method of cooking and stuff like that. Like, we never specifically said we
We
had a
never
pot.
mentioned
That's
it.
all.
I mean, we could just say, like, it's just part of what you've got.
How do the locals boil water then?
They don't. They make beer.
Ooh.
Well, I mean,
Everyone
you guys
in the town?
can have a pot. It just means it's something you can barter with. That's some wealth. The fact that you've got a metal pot.
I mean, I
I'm gonna
will
look
say
at my
that
character
we
sheet a
probably
little bit
should
more
have
closely.
thought about this and tried to get one in town, but we didn't think about it. I mean, I know if
we
I
you're
mean,
say
living,
you've
if
had one this
I
whole time.
mean, was there a pot back at camp?
There was.
Do we use pots at camp?
They well the waters they did have stuff like that. They did have like cooking, facility.
Right. I mean,
things.
the
Amenities
Legion would have outfitted us with stuff, right?
Mhm.
And they're literally sending us on on pretty much scouting missions.
Yeah.
So I would say that there is a good case to say that we do have equipment.
I
And
said
one of
5
them,
minutes ago I'd give you a pot.
right?
Stop
Okay,
arguing
so
here. I'll take it away.
I know I'm justifying it though. I
Yeah.
know we have not talked about a
Yeah.
pot
Yeah.
the entire time, but I'm saying this is why we should have one.
Well, you say scouting mission. That's a bit grandiose for camping trip to see what's out there.
Okay.
yeah,
Either
It would be
way,
like a basic survival pack anyway. Like rope, cooking thing.
right, we
equipment.
should have that. So
Yeah.
So I'm gonna guess there is something we can boil water with. It might
Yeah,
not
I
be
just looked
a
it up.
skillet or a metal pot. It might be something else, but we should be able to boil water. So
You could have a dinged up and tarnished pot. I think that sounds fun.
sure, why not?
Just drink around the rust.
yes, exactly.
That's hilarious. No, it's a good source of iron.
It is.
And Titanus.
No, it wouldn't be a Titanus pot.
Either way,
That's-
while if we're gonna spend the day here and they're gonna empty their bowels and get clean water, I will be doing more fishing for more food.
Okay.
How long do we have, and how many rolls would you like me to make?
Every roll gets 2 harder.
Okay, so the first roll. You know what? I'm gonna spend the style point here, and I'm just gonna take the average. So 2 successes for the first
Cool.
roll.
No fish for you.
For the first roll.
I'm counting from before as well.
Oh my god. Okay, fine. I'm gonna just roll it then.
Roll it. Roll it.
There you go.
Yay!
3
You
successes.
get a fish.
And then
You get a fish, and you get a fish. And you get
So
a
what's the
fish.
Now you'll
difficulty
need
now?
4 successes for the next fish.
Can I ask why it's going up in difficulty every single time I try this?
Because now there's less fish in the river.
Huh? Okay.
You're that good.
Oh, sorry. No, you said
But
synergy
also
works,
not.
right?
Effectively depopulating the
As in
river.
what works, sorry?
Synergy works with survival. So
Mhm.
actually, if I took the average of that, that would be. Well, hold on. Let's get rid of this.
Mhm.
1, 2, 3, 4 successes this time around.
Another fish.
Great. 2 more fish.
Nice.
Okay. And there's no point anymore because there's no possible way I can make 6 successes. So
But I'll give you a style point for really being diligent about it. Actually, I'll give you an experience point because this was definitely something new for you.
okay.
He experienced it all right.
So now we should actually have a lot of food. Enough food, right? Especially if we dry the fish. Enough food to last us our trip, right?
Yeah, and you've already
Okay.
got a fire for the water, so you might as well do something about that.
Yeah. So boil the water, dry out the fish, and we should have enough food to last us the trip.
Hmm.
And then we'll start back up the next day. Hopefully the pain and the
Make buddy rolls for me. See how you're doing.
No.
All of
Uh,
us, or just
Yeah, or just you two.
okay?
You sick people.
So
I'm going to use.
I have 1 success this time, which is not going to be
That's
good enough.
Oh God. I'm going to use 2 style points,
Mm-hmm.
and then I will roll 4 dice.
Mm-hmm.
2. I was going to take the
Ah.
average, so same. Okay.
So you're both green around the gills. One of you is doing better than the other one. Well, Zeke just still has the sweats.
this is the next
Crazy.
day in the
This
morning.
is the next day. Yeah.
The sweats and the shits.
Do you feel like you can make the trip, Cages, or do you want us to stay here another day?
Cages will very much like to stay for another day.
He likes this new life you've got.
Just
He wants to
camping
settle
out in
down
the
and grow
wild.
old here.
I could raise a farm with all my plantings.
In the back of his mind, he's like, this is nicer than the waters. I'm not dealing with psychopaths all day. You want to fish some more?
You said it's now like a difficulty 6. There's no way I can.
I'll reset it for every day.
Okay, sure. Might as well fish some
Yay.
more. And Cages can relax, and Kane can boil some more water, I suppose. Refill the water that we're using now for this day. Here we go. So 1 success for the first
Fish.
roll. 1 fish. Great.
One fish.
1, 2, 3. 3 successes.
Big
Wow.
fish.
3 fish. No, 3
That's
successes.
a big one. You caught a fish this big.
Yeah, sure you did, buddy.
It was a catfish.
Okay. And now we're back up to 6 difficulty, so I'm not going to do anything,
Mhm.
I think.
And now we have problems again.
What's the problem?
Well, now it's really difficult.
Oh, yeah, so I'm stopped.
Yeah.
And then we'll wait for the next day and see if they're feeling
We're
better.
going to make the body rolls again?
Man, you guys must be bored out of your minds.
I mean, I'm just happy I'm keeping some stuff in.
Because if you are rolling body rolls, then I'm gonna spend some style points for that.
Yeah. So
Are we?
Kane and Cage just more buddy rolls.
Oh, I'm just very curious why Maximus never rolls. Like
I-
he
Because
drank
he
the
didn't get
same.
sick at
boiled the
first.
water before I
Oh,
drank
okay.
it again.
But Kane has to make another roll. I thought he got better. Oh, he's not.
He
He's
was
not healed
he
yet.
was better, but he's not healed.
Right. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna use one more style point.
So I have a style of 2. I have a body of 2.
Now you know what? I'm gonna use two style points. I'm not
Wait,
taking any more.
you
chances.
how many did you roll
Finish.
in the last? How many? How many
Son of a
successes did you
bitch.
get last one?
I should have just taken the average, but no. I decided I was
Yeah.
gonna try to go and.
He wanted sushi, and he ate a fish. But guess what? Didn't boil the fish.
We smoked the fish.
Didn't boil it.
It was a
What?
fugu fish. It was a puffer fish. All right.
I thought it
Oh
was
my
a
God.
salmon.
So I'm seriously considering spending style points.
Well, I spent them there, and I should have just taken the average. But I'm like, no, if I can roll 3 successes, I should be fine.
You realize the most deadliest things that we've run into are not the actual like creatures. It's weather
water.
and food.
It's
The
survival.
worst thing has been the survival so far.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
All
kind
right.
of the intent of the landscape, but
To be fair, that is half the point of Desolation.
yeah,
Okay.
it makes
I'll just
travel more
burn-
interesting. Hey,
I'll
Should
just
I be making your
burn-
roleplay dysentery? Probably not. But it's entertaining.
We should put the content warning for that.
Yeah.
Shits and giggles.
Shits and giggles.
episode title.
Man, that's a lot of tags next to each other, right? Shits and giggles. The mystery of the pot.
All right,
That's
I'm
really
gonna
good. I like that.
burn all my style points for 4, so that gives me 6 dice, and I'll take the average of
Oh,
that for
boy.
3.
Oh boy. Okay, cool. So you've just traded places with Kane. Kane's relapsed.
Okay,
I should've
the next
should've
day,
just spent my style points.
yeah, we can't keep staying here. Why not? Fucking no. I'm gonna throw Kane over my shoulder because
Carry
he's-
me.
and we are leaving. Actually, you know what? We'll make
We're putting.
what's it called?
We'll make a stretcher.
Yeah, a stretcher. That's it. We're like a
We'll
stretcher
use our
that like
broken
I can
tarp
just drag.
and 2
And you'll
sticks.
drag him.
Yeah.
That
And
makes sense.
like
so I
for
don't shit on your
the-
shoulder.
Basically, like we have bone trees everywhere, so we should be able to do this.
That's cool. That a picture of a bone stretcher is kind of terrifying.
Well, unfortunately, there's
Yep.
nothing else.
You can find sticks. You have a top. It'll be comfortable until you go over rocks, of which Maximus will find every rock in the forest.
And every time it's like, oh no, oh god, oh no.
Every
Maximus
tree-
finally is starting to realize that it's getting heavier back there, and not sure why.
How is it gaining mass?
I was just gonna say, technically that doesn't make sense, but it's just displacing
That's the
outside
smell
of me.
that's weighing him down.
Yeah, it's gaining mass.
Yeah,
That's how bad
it's
it is.
displacement. It's now closer to Maximus. So it's pulling down more.
You remember those tentacles that were spreading out?
Aw.
This is worse.
How far away is Kay just walking?
I have to
From
hold the
what?
other end of the stretcher, don't I?
No. We can drag it.
Oh, I don't. Oh, you
Maximus
can
is
drag it.
dragging it.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
can
I'm
drag it.
definitely.
Are you gonna be
I'm
behind
definitely-
him or in
like-
front of him? That's the point there. When he farts
I'll be-
and
I'll
shits,
be
is it
be-
gonna cover
I'll be-
you, or are you gonna be avoiding the
Wait, but
spray?
if he's farting at you, so I'm like on the direct. I'm like the opposite direction of where he's farting at.
What?
I-
He's not looking at
Unless
me.
there's
What
a
are you talking
downwind, then
about?
it's a different story.
This is what desolation is about. I love it.
He's
This is
lying
the-
down, and
This
his
is the
head
intake
is
right there,
closest
right?
to me, and his feet are furthest away from me. Why would he be lying the other way? No.
Question, DM. What way is Kane farting?
Um,
No, I'm
well,
just kidding. I'm kidding.
I pictured your head would be like that way on the stretcher, so like Maximus pulling it like that way.
Why? Why
Like
would I
your head
do that?
I don't know. I just,
So that
I just
all
would
his
like
blood
to.
goes towards his head?
I
Yeah,
would
I-
like to issue a public apology to Matthew W. Somers, Jamie J. Gooch, Stephen J. Heron, Matthew W. Somers. Ubiquity Role-Playing System by Jeff Combs. I'm sorry.
Oh, the people who. I'm not.
I did not intend for this.
If you are writing a role-playing book, if
Stephen
you've-
J. Heron, I apologize.
yeah, but
I
here's the thing,
bastardized your system.
anyone who's played D&D knows that it always breaks down into usually a harem or not a harem,
No, you're right. It usually becomes
a harem of people or a what the hell is the place?
A brothel?
Thank you. A brothel is the word I was looking for. Usually ends up every time there's a town, it's like, okay, there's 3 ends. No. Where's the brothel? You know, like that's
Yeah.
so if you're writing an
last game I
RPG
There are no
system,
rules for brothels.
they thought they were getting around it by not including towns and civilization. Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
No, this is what happens.
Last game I played with Matt and Ken, they started the brothel. They started the brothel cult.
Of
The
course.
Church
yeah.
of Fecundity.
Oh my god.
This is
Oh,
inescapable.
especially if you're playing with Matt. He will find a way.
Because I'm a
Yeah,
gracious
yeah,
god,
yeah.
you'll run into nothing else that's untowards on your cane pulling. But let's see if Kane pulls some dice. Does he need to continue to be pulled, or can he pull his own weight?
All right, I can't
What
take any
weight?
chances.
He should have no weight now. He's basically shit out all the weight. Unless he's shitting out magic now.
All right,
Basically.
honestly, I can't take any more chances.
Literally
I'm gonna use.
farting confetti.
I've literally used all 8. I've literally used all 8 of my style points on dysentery. I'm gonna use the last 4, and I'm taking the average
Oh.
of 3. Because that gives me 6 total, and I will take an average 8 points of shit. I've literally used 8 style points on shit.
So those are 8 shit points.
Well, I did it in style.
God. I'm not exactly
this
sure this is the way style points are supposed to be used, but okay.
Well,
This
it's a
week
survival
it was a
thing.
pretty shit game.
To be honest, but you know what? I disagree because this actually puts the realism into travel. This is a sort of actual dangers that are out there. So I
This
mean,
is everything I've always wanted.
yeah.
This
Well-
is my design.
While it may be colored brown, I think this is exactly what the system
I think
is
this
all
is
about.
more interesting than you hear a howl in the distance. Get ready for wolves.
Well, this is what I mean. Like this is a more realism thing, right? So anyway, yes. So 3. I'm taking the average. So for 3.
But don't worry, there are still wolves. You're fine now.
Oh, guys, I
You're
feel
healed.
so much better.
You know that
Now let's.
Taffy just said there are wolves, right? You realize what you've left behind you.
Yeah. Well,
We
we'll
now just have a
that's-
scent trail for these animals just to follow us all the way over here, basically.
Well, if they knew better, they would know that's our territory.
Well, not only that, I mean, I left so much mass back there. They could just feast on that. They were just like, I'm down like 20 pounds now. It's
Oh,
like,
Jesus.
Can you imagine when you run out of meat and you have to start foraging? Was it berries blue good for you, berries white full of shite? Or was it berries blue bad for you, or berries white they're all right? Which one was it?
yeah, baby, berry white. That's all I heard.
I want white. I want a berry.
I don't know. I'm going to keep going.
I don't know. You're
All
gonna
right.
keep going.
Yes, we're going to keep walking until the night comes. Until we have to make
Okay.
camp.
What's your plan at night at camp?
What we always do. We're not in the desert yet, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Does it get extremely cold at night here?
No, it's okay here.
Okay, so make a camp.
It's still bone forest.
Oh, great.
You're saying there's more octopuses that could come and kill us. That's what you're
But
saying.
you haven't seen any.
Because there's a bigger and more dangerous creature that's in this.
Because they're good at camouflage.
Really?
You
That's
ever
an
wonder how
octopus.
that really big part of Kane was following you the whole way here?
Mm,
Apparently they smell bad.
okay. Um. They eat bone. That's literally the only material that we have to work with right now.
Hmm.
I mean, we could gather up a bunch of
Yeah,
bone
we could leave a
and pile
bone
it
pile.
off, pile it a little bit off,
Exactly.
and then whoever's on watch just keeps an eye on it.
This is very morbid. The bony
So
pile.
yeah, we're gonna make camp. We're gonna make, instead of them eating us, we will make a pile of bone that the octopuses can go for instead,
Cool.
and then we'll see what happens.
Hmm. And nothing will happen. Thus is the end of the 4th day. And so the beginning of the 5th day happens.
As the sun crests over the horizon, Kane just like sits there in anticipation, hoping that his dysentery does not return.
Do you
Realizing
trust
that he's
it?
worn
Is
a
it really
hole
a
in his
fart?
pants.
And as he is lost in thought, he is drinking unboiled water. No, I'm just kidding. wonder
He found a
I
he
wonder
found a
if
small pond. It must be
wonder if-
magical because the water is yellow.
yeah.
Oh,
no.
5th day, we start walking through the forest.
Mhm. You do. Do a survival roll.
Of
The
course.
party's walking 2 by 2, hurrah, hurrah. And then there's Kane who's poo and poo, hurrah, hurrah.
Survival.
Who's
Can
dropped
I
on that?
ask what exactly I'm doing with survival? Like, can I add perception and survival together, or?
You're trying to survive. It would
Sweet.
help. Perception could help, yeah.
Okay, so synergy, because I have 4 in perception, it looks like,
Mhm.
and 3 in survival, so 5 dice, I'm guessing. And I got 1, 2, 3 successes for whatever you want me to see.
You're seeing spores in the ground of
Whoa.
paw prints, not hoof prints, and that's concerning.
There's
Pause, like,
spores?
Spores or
So
paw prints?
is well, is that not the English word?
I don't know. It depends
Now
on
I'm
what you're
questioning
trying to.
myself.
Spores are like
Fungus.
fungus, yeah.
yeah.
Airborne fungus type stuff.
Oh, it's not an English word. Sorry. Um, paw prints, basically, of
okay.
animals.
Lots of animals. 1 animal.
Hard to tell.
Big, small. Small like a poodle,
Small and insignificant?
or big
Like
like a lion.
like the size of a really big dog.
Okay.
Now you say this is concerning. Is it concerning above the fact that we're in the wild and there are wild animals? Like, is it concerning because it's rare in this area or something? Or is it just concerning because there's wildlife around?
It's because there's wildlife around.
Yeah.
It looks canine,
Yeah.
and there are claws.
Okay.
On the other hand, we could kill it and eat it
After cooking it.
after cooking it. I mean, we have to travel in this direction, yes?
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Well,
see I
are we
don't see any
still
choice.
are we still in the bone forest?
No.
We're not?
No,
No.
this
There's
is
no more,
outside. Okay.
no more trees.
So
I
what's
picked a few
the
bones.
what is the biome like?
You're more back into shrubland, I guess is the best word I've got for it. I need to brush up on my biomes.
Okay. Grassland, prairies, basically is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, essentially
Right.
the bone trees have stopped.
Okay.
Right.
Maybe more
Would
like a
I say that the
Badlands or
dogs
something.
would be tall enough that I would be able to spot them through the shrubbery,
Um,
or?
Possibly.
Okay. I mean, we have to keep going. I will keep my weapon
Yeah.
out, my bow.
It really depends on your watch.
Yeah. There's nothing we can do. We have
Okay.
to continue forward.
Yeah. You do have to continue forward. You're very much committed. How much water do you have left?
Lots of it. Our canteens are full of it. We
We have
spent
way too
3
much.
days boiling water and putting it into our canteens. Our canteens should be full.
Well, we've also
Okay.
drank them. But I would imagine.
As long as they didn't shit into the river, it should be fine.
Wait, you didn't want me to shit into the river?
How are we
Guys,
supposed to deal
awkward.
with the smell?
The river goes back to Penang, so no complaints there.
I'm doing conversions. Well, that depends how many canteens you have each. Because it says the average military canteen holds 1 liter of water.
We have at least 4
But maybe
canteens.
that's a conversation for another time.
I mean, the way I look at it is we're traveling. We must have.
Yeah, so you probably would have doubled up at least.
Yeah, I would have thought we would have had, because we've been, even from the get-go, knowing we're heading out, I would imagine we would be
And you
equipped
knew there was
for-
desert as well.
Yeah, like I would imagine we would be equipped with more than a day's worth of canteen.
I'm just
no,
trying
it's
to
fair.
put a little consistency into it because we are like, if we're counting days of food.
You're absolutely right. No, absolutely.
So we'll put some thought into it, but I'm not going to worry too much now. I will absolutely agree on like the we've spent 3 days boiling water thing. Like it makes no sense that you wouldn't have enough right now.
Right.
I mean, in the past, when we were traveling the other way, we were capturing water throughout the night. Has it been raining at all?
No, not right now.
Oh, and I will also actually put in the fact that you literally said that Remy went back with no equipment. So we actually have his canteens too.
Oh no, well, I'm not sure you would send him off into the desert with absolutely nothing.
He's a
I
herbalist.
don't
He'll be
believe that for a
fine.
second. If that's the case, then I'll say categorically he's dead.
Okay.
But we're alive.
Killed.
So
It
that's
was
a
a
good
shot.
thing.
That's all
Anyway,
that's important, apparently.
fine. Either way, we should be fine for water right now.
Either way, you're fine. Either way, you're
It'd probably
fine. We'll
kill
worry
us in
about it
6
another
days,
time.
but whatever. It's fine.
But we'll keep an
Um,
eye out for it for a resupply.
Big
Yeah.
block.
Next time we
Yeah, I
camp,
mean,
if we can
yeah.
camp near a river or something, we can boil
River.
some more.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're going to hear barking. All of you, perception. All of you roll. See if you can figure out where it came from.
Just perception. Can I add survival to this?
Is your survival higher?
No, I mean, can I roll survival and roll the
Oh.
synergy for perception?
I got
Yeah,
2
sure.
out of 9 dice.
Oh
Good
my
lord!
god!
So 2 successes from me.
He's
You
scared
got
of dogs.
2 out of 9 dice. Holy shit!
Yep.
He panicked.
Oh, okay, Jess.
I got
Okay,
2.
just
I have 5
And
5.
Cageus
out
knows.
of 6 dice.
5.
Cageus knows. Cageus can see the freaking the weaves of the earth.
The ley lines of
Magic
energy is like-
intertwined with each other. Freaking the Matrix.
the ripples in the air. You can tell what they ate for breakfast.
All right, Cageus, go. Tell us where they're coming from.
That way.
And then I
It'll
will
be
shoot an
better
arrow
if I
into
can tell
that
how
direction.
many, because they are barking.
Cage's hears at least 10.
Ooh, freaking hell.
He's actually counted out 10 distinct different barks
In that direction.
in that direction.
Okay. Can I see them now that
The
Cageus is
direction that
pointing?
we are heading towards, or a direction that's behind us?
that way is behind you.
Okay, so basically they're coming from behind us.
Mhm.
So literally we could start running right now, although they'll probably overtake us. Can we see them?
No, can't see.
but they can
Too f-
see and smell us.
We can-
I'm sure.
Too far away. Can't see. They could probably smell you. Is the problem?
I mean, they
Uh-huh.
probably smelled something else and then figured out that there's something
They
worth
figured it out.
pursuing.
They really got the scent in them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they're smelling Kane.
So in any case,
They know
the
exactly what Kane
question is
smells like.
there, do we have to hasten our pace, or do we just move as normal and wait till they catch up and then deal with them?
Or
then?
we could. Ah, crap.
Yes, that's how you'll cover your scent.
We're 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 out of the bone forest, aren't we? So we
Now
don't
you're
even have.
truly boned.
Yeah, we don't even have like.
Or we just run through rivers.
I mean, there's nothing we can do except to start running, right? Until we see
Well,
something where we can take a defensive position, or something like a river where we can cross and like erase our scent, or like, or we run into the other bad thing, or we run into something that's worse than the dogs. Who knows?
No,
The
no.
thing they're running from.
Yeah, not a lot of things are worse than 10 dogs, especially with the 3 of us.
Yep.
Actually, here
10 bigger dogs.
I would like to
Mhm.
propose. You guys have seen
How's-
Star Wars, right? You've seen
Let's
Obi-Wan
just-
Kenobi do that yell to scare off the. You know what I'm suggesting? Can I make a howl and intimidate basically the dogs from like coming in our direction? Like there's something bigger and worse here that they don't want to run into? That kind of intimidation check, maybe?
Cages is really wondering what he got himself into when he sees Maximus turn on and start barking back.
Is there any breeze
You can
right now?
you can do the thing. Any breeze.
Yeah, like any wind right now?
There's wind, but it's like changing direction.
Yeah, okay.
All
They're
right.
like whoosh and whoosh.
So I
whoosh.
will bark. Actually, I'll howl like a wolf.
Cool.
Are you
And-
hungry like one as well, or?
Yes, hungry like the wolf. I have 5 dice. I'm going to use style points for this. I think this is actually a huge problem. And you know what? Since Dave Kane used all his style points, it seems like the thing to do. So I'm going to use all my style
Shit.
points. No, actually, I'm not going to use all my style points. I'm going to use 3 of them. I shall have 2 left. That'll make my thing 8.
Average of 4.
And I will take an average of 4 with my howl.
Who would have thought when I was being so liberal with style points? It would have come in handy here.
Mm-hmm.
I was holding on to them for the
Yeah,
basically
you
until
got
I
'em,
needed to
use-
survive.
You got them, you use them.
So, I don't
And
know.
we'll leave
4
it
successes.
on. We'll leave it on Maximus yelling back at the dogs.
And howling into the night. And then you'll tell
Mhm.
us what happens later. Great.
And we'll see what happens later.
Excellent. Okay. Well, I guess that's where we're going to end the episode. If you guys have been watching the playthrough, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We will see you later. Bye-bye.
Okay, guys.